galactic historian is a person that looks at all the lines of dramatic karma. A galactic historian goes to each and every line of dramatic karma and lives in soul family with everyone, so they see the big picture of all of the karma that's going on in a local part of the universe.
The infrastructure of potential was there. You still had to connect the dots and use a series of free will expressions to get you there. There are also a number of people, the karmic doors closed them off to so much, all that was left was this galactic historian guy on the internet. People who listened to the Galactic History 1 and within a year went back to sleep because the world turned to be really shitty and no one woke up. None of the predictions happened. I understood as a higher soul that being in this time with the perceptive nature of the human I could be, attracting people to the material that a person had to open the door with. Welcome, everyone, to another adventure into reality. I'm your host, Andrew Bartzis, the Galactic Historian. Today, I'm joined by the OG, David Ellis. Welcome back to the show, David. How's it going?
Oh, I'm good, Andrew. I'm looking forward to this.
Remember, it was back in late 2017, I had you on a show for your first time.
Correct.
A college show.
And ever since then, it's
History.
been techno gremlins after each other.
Yes. All right, with that, we're going to open up the room for the callers. We got a bunch of people with their hands already raised. Let's go, Camilla. Joel, give Camilla a signal to unmute. Camilla, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me, Andrew?
Yep. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Sweden.
Welcome to the show. What do you want to talk about today?
I want to ask you a couple of questions about my son that is turning 7 next week.
Okay. What's going on with him?
We're thinking about if he has some, I'm getting a bit nervous now, but if he has some autism in some spectrum or in some way, or what is happening to him.
Tell me what you see as him versus what his teachers might be saying. And what do you think is on the line or might be over the line or just normal kid?
When he was little, he was having a lot of tantrums, a lot of emotions, and he was late talking, he was late walking.
How late talking and walking?
Maybe 1.5 years of walking and over 2 years of starting to talk more.
Okay.
But it took longer. So, but right now he has a lot of anxiety of going to school, and and when he was little, he wasn't playing with the kids like normal kids do. He was more observing them. But now he's starting to integrate with the other children more. But if we are going to a playground when we have a day off, he says, if we see there's other children there, he's telling, but Mom, I don't like other children or children that I don't know.
He's still communicating to you.
Yes, he's talking.
Okay, so that might not even be autism. That could be Asperger's and a variety of other things. It could just be also who he is when he's young and growing. David, do you want to add anything here?
Yes, that is not autism. Absolutely not. You are assuming that it's autism. Have you tested it?
No, we are seeing doctors. So now,
A doctor is not what you need to see for that. You don't need to see a GP for that. As
Okay.
Andrew pointed out, that sounds like Asperger's, and and you have to be very careful with those diagnoses, because if he can communicate that I don't like other children,
Yes.
then it's probably not autism. Okay?
Okay.
And they're
Yes.
different, and autism works on a spectrum, just so that we're clear. There's high functioning and so on.
Mm.
Just so that you're clear, you're talking to somebody who's partially on that spectrum.
Yes.
You're talking to somebody who's on that spectrum. See how normal I'm being with you?
Mm.
There's another thing that I want to say that I'm a little concerned about. When you are making assumptions like he's late to do this or he's late to do that. Okay? Development
Mm.
works differently for different people. It really
Yes.
does. So you have to be very careful when you're making those statements. Okay?
Mm.
Some people who start off slow in life really, really do excel. So I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you, what is he doing that you admire and that he does absolutely right, and that is a wonderful thing?
Oh, he's the most loving person I know. He cares about other people, and he loves other people also. The nature, he's so kind-hearted. He, I can't really find words for his amazing in my eyes.
Mhm.
Um,
How has the
yeah,
winter affected him?
Mhm.
the winter.
Yeah.
Um, in contrast to the other seasons, you mean,
Yeah.
or?
Does he go out in the winter? Does he stay inside in the winter?
I think lately it's more he wants to be inside.
Mhm.
But lately he's been having so much anxiety about school, and he
Mhm.
has also been talking about, but mom, if I cannot be a baby anymore, or he's been asking me questions like, is it possible for me to be a baby again, um,
Mhm.
or otherwise I don't want to live anymore, then I want to die.
Mhm.
S- so he's having a lot of deep thoughts, and I'm getting worried about how to meeting him in that different situations. And
Books are your
uh,
best thing for him, I think, right now. There could be a variety of books that could open him up to different views on growing up. One that I could
okay,
personally recommend, it might be for 8, it might be a little too young for him, is the Dan Millman books, Way of the Peaceful Warrior.
okay,
It subtly speaks about spirit and having someone to help you through the journey of growing older, the power of spirit.
mm,
Okay. And it's got a martial arty energy into it, so it can be considered a little bit of an action thing where somebody younger might want to read it.
okay.
Okay.
Camilla, how old did you say he was?
He's turning 7 next week.
A 7-year-old can express that he does not want to exist anymore. That's
Yeah.
a very interesting 7-year-old.
Yes, it is. um, um,
Do you find that slightly unusual?
I haven't met any child in that age that is talking like he is.
So it might be that there may not be something all that wrong with him.
Okay.
There might be something way too right with him. Does
Yeah.
that has
Mm,
that has that crossed your mind?
Yeah. A savant level intelligence.
yes, that has crossed my mind. Yes.
Because if he can analyze the motivations and probably he can't fit into school because he
Mm,
can't fit into the maturity level or the EQ level of the children around him. Maybe that might
okay.
be it, but he's expressing very deep concepts to you, and that's
Yes.
not normal for a 7-year-old. So you should, I'm going to say this. I'm thinking probably that your concern should be more directed to how do you develop that as opposed to try to make him into a baby again, which is what he wants, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to feel safe, or Why do you think he wants that?
Every green consciousness goes through the change of inside the womb to outside of the womb. Most of us normies out here, we get out of the womb and we spend the rest of our life trying to get back into it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to leave it early. There is a unique nurture energy to it.
Okay.
Okay. A connection that only the consciousness has words for. State of love that he's yearning for. And it can absolutely be found here.
I would also suggest, since you're suggesting books, Andrew, Jonathan Livingston Seagull.
Yes.
Okay.
Any of the classics, any of the real big classics too. Plato, Socrates, all of them, yeah. If he's willing to read.
Yeah, he loves when I read, and we are practicing a lot for him also. But oh.
Go ahead. My question.
No, I'm a bit shaky now, so.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you.
Yes.
How much fear do you have in you right now with regard to your son?
How much?
Fear. How much are you afraid on a scale of 1 to 10?
Afraid of him or for
his life, for his development?
That's a really good question. I just feel like I have such a big responsibility of doing right for him. So
do you think that he is absorbing some of your fear?
Of course he's yeah.
So maybe you might want to watch how much fear you're putting out, because I'm talking to you right now and I'm hearing the concern in your voice and I'm feeling it.
Yes.
So
yes, really, yes.
I'm hearing the concern and mild despair in your voice. So my suggestion would be that stop looking at things from the lens of doom and gloom. Look at things from the lens of opportunity, right?
Yes.
Stop utilizing words like he did this late or he's not doing this enough or whatever the case may be. I suggest that you work with what is presented in front of you in a loving manner, because I know you love your child. I know that much, or else you wouldn't be here speaking to us about it, because you're coming from a place of a desperation that I just want an answer. And my suggestion to you, my wholehearted suggestion to you is, what is in front of you, you work with it. Don't try to make things based on a template that's in your head, based on what you did or what other people around you did or what other children are doing and so on. Work with your child where he is. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, thanks for calling in. We got to move on to the next caller.
Yes, thank you so much. Bye.
All right, darling, take it easy. All right, Jewel, let's give Elena message signal to unmute.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello, Elena. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How have things been since we talked last?
Yeah, so good. I am deep in studying for the bar, slowly making my way through each subject, which has been good. I have definitely been struggling to manage a lot of the other things we talked about, which was like the grant writing, and like, because right now I can really handle studying for the bar, my job, keeping up with practice, maintaining balance with that. So I was just kind of curious on your thoughts about that, but I've also been really thinking about the kind of law I want to do. So litigation is definitely something I want to pursue. I've decided for sure.
Yep, I told that was in you, and that was part of the power user you inside you. You hid away.
Yes, exactly. So, and I've already had so many moments of wanting to give up, but I'm not gonna give up.
Well, we happen to have the perfect person here to help add some. So David, I've done some bunch of private sessions with Alana, and she did not pass her bar and then went on to do normal life. And I convinced her to go and do the bar again. And now she's rediscovering all the unique little super intelligent things she had when she was studying big.
Okay, so you didn't pass the bar. Which country are we talking about?
I'm in the United States.
Okay, so you're doing your Juris Doctorate, right? You've done it already.
Yeah, I graduated top of my class. I am dyslexic, so there's a lot of shame around that while I was in law school, but I've been working really hard to know that I am not broken and that is not a limiting factor.
Okay, so I don't know if you were listening earlier on. You're talking to somebody who's on the spectrum. Do you know that?
I did not know that.
Yes, me too.
Oh, wow.
You too.
I love it.
Welcome to the crowd. Here's your card.
Love it.
I am on the spectrum. When I was young, there was a whole bunch of things that were not normal with my brain, let's say. Okay. And I met a lady who taught me how to meditate and fix them, and I turned the disadvantages into advantages.
Wow.
So let me tell you something about dyslexia. Do you see how your mind rearranges things?
Yes.
You think that's a weakness? No, that's not true. It's actually a strength. It absolutely is. And I'm going to tell you that I'm going to say something to you. A lot of people tend to have judgment around what autism, Asperger's, dyslexia, ADD, ADHD, these are actually hidden strengths if you know how to handle them.
Right.
So
Okay.
the reason why Andrew is having me speak to you is because I have a master's in law.
Okay. You have an LLM? Is that from Canada, the other system?
No, that's from that's from England in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's in English law and English Commonwealth law. Okay.
Right.
My master's is in international business law.
Okay.
One of my masters that came out badly. Okay, you remember that I said I was on the spectrum. So I had a learning disability at a very, very young age. If it wasn't for meditation, I wouldn't have been able to turn these things into strengths. And let me tell you, every disability, I don't call them disability, they're abilities. Okay. I'm not going to tell you what my background is. Andrew knows what my background is, however, right?
Yeah.
But I could pretty much tell you that all the things that were not necessarily working so well with my brain became very, 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 very effective in later years. Okay. So you want to work in law. You want to, the bar is your only barrier, and you have problems sitting exams. It's not that you're not bright. You just have problems sitting exams. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So with regard to the dyslexia, may I have may I suggest something? You just simply ask the LSAT is what you did the LSAT already. So
I took the LSAT. I graduated law school.
All right. So you graduated, you have your Juris Doctor. All you need is extra time to run to do the exam. That's all you need to do. And
I had it last time, and I just redid the testing again to quote prove I'm disabled enough to get it again. But I've never been denied accommodations. That's how I.
So you have accommodations. So
Yes.
the only problem is inside of yourself.
Yes.
You need to slow down, first of all, right? And you need to change that mindset when you go into the exam. Because what I hear inside of you, I have met many people who came out of law school, and I'm going to say something to you. I can hear in the voice that you're going to be awesome. Because there's some people who come from law school, and there's something in the tones of your voice that tells me that you're going to be the kind of person that will actually be effective. Probably you don't want to necessarily work in law proper. Probably you want to go to the fixer thing. Does she sound like somebody we know? She sounds like Dina, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you sound like a friend of ours. So you can be effective. You just
She's a top-level corporate fixer in Canada.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So my point is you just have one barrier in your path, and you will remove that barrier.
Yep.
Concentrate on the barrier. Don't concentrate on what's happening with you. Concentrate on the barrier. Remove that shit. You have things to do in this life.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of things to do.
I do.
And I think you have a plan, I suspect. You sit down and you think about the future a lot. So if that is the only barrier, you don't have to graduate at the top of your class in the bar exam. You just need to pass it.
Right.
So
Right.
concentrate only on passing it, not trying to be the best. Does that make sense?
Right. Yes.
Once you get past that barrier, then you could run up on every law firm in the US and say, I have arrived.
Right.
Told her to
Which law
start-
school did you go to?
I told her to start her own law firm, David.
Yeah, she doesn't sound she sounds like fixer material, Andrew.
I know, but she still got to figure out her way to that journey.
Right.
Yeah.
And in that, I mean, I feel like I am going to need to work somewhere else to get a little bit of experience before I can start my own law firm. I don't know
Yeah,
if
but
that's-
you have other work-based experiences to fill in the CV. It's not like you haven't been doing anything. Okay.
No, yeah. I've been working since the whole time, just not as an attorney.
You want to specialize in litigation? Why?
Because when I never let myself actually be a litigator when I went to law school. I didn't think, again, I already put judgments and barriers before I even started, and I pigeonholed myself.
Mhm.
But I always, that was always a dream of mine, was to litigate, was to be able to use the different laws and create a roadmap to a path for whatever client or purpose or situation I'm working for. It's like a puzzle piece, you know, and picking them apart and finding the best avenue. And speaking, I do love to speak and use my voice. So being able to kind of stand in my power and to do that in a courtroom feels like a thing I need to do. I don't think it's forever, but I do see that as a step in my journey moving forward.
I see. What area of litigation do you want to specialize in?
Yeah, I'm really starting broad. It could be civil, it could even be criminal. And before, I never wanted to be a criminal lawyer, but now even the criminal aspect is very intriguing to me. So I'm open to it all.
Well, for all the lawyers that are out there, this is the season to be specialized in RICO defense cases.
Yep. Yep.
Oh.
Diddy
Yeah.
and all his little RICO friends are going to get charged.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more coming down the pipeline.
But yeah, I would be curious in terms of your guys' perspective and like the future of the law and where I can position myself and kind of like how to, you know, take everything that y'all talk about, you know, and being, you know,
Would
kind
you
of the monk in the concrete jungle and holding that, you know, kind of balanced person, but being able to navigate these very complex and kind of sacred geometry systems in a sense.
Would you like my advice?
I would love your advice.
You need to be tested in fire. So if you decided to practice law, I would suggest you do civil litigation, specifically against the police, and I'll tell you why. Because you're never going to be out of work nowadays. You don't. You're never going to be out of work. And every day is going to be hardening you and shaping you into what you actually want to be, which is sharp as a knife.
Exactly.
And you want to be that person. I get it. That's why I said you fix the material. So I suggest you start in a place where people actually do fight. Okay?
Wow. Okay.
I suggest you start in a
They
place.
all come with the knives out.
All right. I suggest you start in a place where people actually do fight. And I'll tell you why. You will gain a name for yourself very, very quickly when you take up these kinds of cases. And everybody's going to know who you are. All right? So civil litigation, civil liberties lawyer.
Okay.
It's really
that sounds
easy to
like
get
you.
into that business model too.
And if you get into that business model, you're never going to be out of work and you will remain very sharp. I can guarantee you that.
Okay. That's exactly, yeah, because I've let myself dull out, as Andrew said. I've completely, you know, just given up on that part of my inner genius, and that's exactly what I want to bring forth.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because any other, let's face it, you're not going to be like crafting wills or something. That's just not you. Sorry.
No,
You're not going to be in probate or any of that kind of nonsense. You're not going to do
No.
that. May I make another suggestion to you?
Please.
When you finish that, if you want additional training, go learn arbitration, not mediation, arbitration.
Arbitration. Okay. Yes. Okay. Perfect. I can add that to my list of services. Love it. Okay.
Yeah, because you need to be able. I get where you're coming from. You want to be sharp. I feel you, my sister. I feel you. I feel you. Okay, you want to be sharp. So I'm going to give you the path. You take cases where there's an underdog element to it that gives you a lot of notoriety. You go on the arbitration side because now from the I could tell you that I'm an arbitrator. Okay,
Oh, wow.
in Canada. What the training does, it gives you an idea of how judges are going to rule anyway. It gives you, you understand, because you're the judge. You're the private judge.
Yes.
So it gives you an idea of what they're thinking and what elements, so that when you actually operate as a lawyer, you are 1,000 times more effective.
Wow. So do you see that doing that kind of after I pass the bar while I'm starting to get some experience, just add that kind of.
Add it as your service, correct.
Okay. But more recent, like don't wait too long, add that sooner rather than later once I'm licensed.
Yes, the reason why I say that is because it's going to augment your skills if you know what the judge is looking for to actually rule on. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
It's going to make you sharper.
Yes, that's exactly what I want. I miss that. I want to be sharp. I want to be a person that's like a problem solver, fixer. I want to be a fixer.
Yep, you sound like somebody I know.
So, David, we still got to start Fixer Inc.
Correct.
All the best fixers in the world in one company.
Correct. That would be awesome.
So do you guys think that it's okay to just focus right now on the bar and obviously keep my job? Focus on the bar, obviously keep up with practice. I'm doing the floats are amazing. Getting as much body work as I can done. I'm trying to maintain my own personal practice. And also, balance human life.
Right. Remember what I said last time, dealing with what's too much work, what's little too work, what is obsession, and what is you and good learning.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All of that.
Right. I'm working on that. This last week, well, right now I've evacuated from Florida, so I'm on my way back to Florida because of the hurricane.
Irony, pure irony.
I know. But the week before that, I was able to study. I moved through civil procedure in 3 days. I put in 10 hours and was able to surf, float, sleep, and was just crushing it. It felt so good.
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 I told you those floats will become one of your best friends when you're in high study mode. You'll learn to be able to go past all of the memorization journeys and literally be in the books with your brain.
Okay.
I see you're trying to clear out her mind so she can fill it in. Yeah, I love it, Andrew.
Body work and floats are our best friends for this part of the journey, because she still has to work a 30-hour week job, and it's all remote from home. So, and she's really big into fitness. So,
yes.
Oh yeah, that lady wants to be sharp for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm unstoppable.
So do you want to give him a fitness rundown? Because David is a specialty in fitness too.
Yeah. In the last 2 years, I've been able to put on 20 pounds of muscle, and I love bodybuilding. I love going to the gym. I love being strong. It's just part of my lifestyle, and I can't fathom not doing that. And I've also started to surf as well. But bodybuilding and strength training is a game changer, especially as a woman. To be strong, wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
And it's allowed me, it's changed my relationship with food. Like I eat, it's just, I love it. So the gym as much, 5-6 days a week, if I'm in there for 2-3 hours, I'd be in there all day if I could, but now I have to time manage a little bit better.
Okay. And so, what's your routine?
Right. I normally hit legs at 2, sometimes 3 days a week. And then I'm really big on my upper body. So I'm really trying to build my back, trying to get those delts to grow and my arms. So then I also, honestly, I try and hit upper body. I sometimes will split it, divide my push and my pull. But if I'm short for time, I'll just put them together. But I love working upper body, and I've been able to build a significant portion. So I alternate. It really depends. But I also feel it out. You know, some days is maybe just a cardio day where I just incline walk for 45 minutes and get a good sweat in, because I also love getting my heart rate up and getting into zone 2.
Can I make a suggestion for you?
Please, yes.
Okay. I heard what you're saying. I don't want you to take the physical fitness away from the studying, and I'll explain to you what I mean by that. It may be in your best interest to graft the resistance training that you're doing as resistance, as mind resistance as well. Okay? So when the workout gets tough and so on, concentrate on your ability to go beyond yourself. Does that make sense?
Yes. Like training to failure, learning to train to failure, and learning what actually pushing myself feels like. Is that what you're talking about?
Correct. Because you want to be sharp. So don't separate the training. Oh, I'm just trying to keep fit from I'm trying to pass the bar and be the most awesome lawyer. They're all one thing.
Right.
They're all one thing. They're internal. When you push that weight, that is the resistance that you're going to be training your mind to feel in your work.
Right.
Do you feel me, my sister?
Yes,
That's what makes you sharp. The two of them, it's kind of like, this is a martial arts principle more than anything else, but I'm going to explain it to you. Every resistance that you meet in your training, don't think of it as me trying to get fit. Think of it as me trying to get sharp. You feel me?
Okay, like that. Right, because that mind muscle connection and just really pushing. Okay, right, and not giving up the way I've given up before. I don't give up in the gym. So
Yes, harness it. Harness all of it in together, because you are hardening the mind.
Right. Yeah, I see that as an essential piece as to why I'm even able to do this next layer of the journey, which is to go back and retake the bar again.
Correct. We don't give up, and when the weight gets heavy, we're going to push it until somebody moves.
Yeah.
Okay.
What has the body work done for you?
I just feel so much more relaxed, and I can feel just like the tension in my muscles, and the level of relaxation that I'm able to feel, even though I'm pushing my mind and body more than I ever have in like 5 years, is allowing me to like I'm able to just like not feel how tired I am, because I just feel more rested, more calm.
Yeah.
And I can just keep going.
And then you get to fill into that space, your genius that has been suppressed will to start to come out in that more relaxed space.
Okay.
And that's why the floats are the place will lure the genius out, and you'll have, eureka aha moments of putting patterns together. And then there'll be times that you'll be working out and having that, and all that's going to be related to the unique dopamine release of the grand journey you're going on, which is reclaiming the different parts of yourself, which is leading up into a test.
Right. And also the enjoyment part of it too.
Sure.
Right.
Last time, when you were in school, it didn't have this level of enjoyment and relaxation behind it. So it's a whole different journey for you.
Yeah, completely. And I'm still trying to learn to fall asleep in the floats. I'm like, get really relaxed, but my body's still like, we are in water.
It'll come. Okay. And you'll have one of those moments. Was I in there 4 hours? Was I in there 10 minutes? You won't be able to tell until you get out and look at the clock.
Okay? Right.
Yeah. All right, darling. Thanks for calling in. We got a bunch of other people with their hands up.
So much. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys are amazing.
You're welcome.
You're
Good
welcome.
talking to you again.
You too.
All right, Joe, give Alana a signal to unmute. Alana, are you there?
Hello, I'm here.
Hi, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from North Bay, Ontario, Canada.
North Bay, Ontario, Canada. Welcome to the show. What do you want to talk about today?
Well, first I want to thank both of you, David and Andrew, for all that you do. I think it's amazing that you have this show and people can call in, and I hear so many identifiable and wonderful stories.
Well, it's wonderful. We love to be able to share our time with everyone. What's going on with you?
Last time I called in, we chatted. I was living with my friend out in Trout Creek, and I didn't have a job. And now I have the job that I wanted to get, and I have my own apartment.
What was the job that you got?
I'm a harm reduction outreach worker.
Okay. So everything came together.
Everything happened as I planned it to happen, and I was really blown away. I was like, wow, after like 47 years of my life, I'm finally on the right path.
Aha. So,
Aha.
so tell me, Alana, how's North Bay? Is it cold yet?
Yeah, the trees are changing colors. It looks really beautiful. I had a bear run into me when I was sitting by the creek the other day, a baby
Of
bear.
course. A baby bear. And did you hightail it out of there as quickly as you could?
Fucking right, I did.
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, there's the mother.
Because where there's a baby bear, there's a mama bear. You do realize this, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. All right. So tell me, how's your new life panning out for you? Tell me everything about it.
Well, what led me up to wanting to do that type of work was I was in active addiction for 30 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I experienced a lot of the things that our clients experience, like homelessness, being underhoused, self-deprivating behaviors, like criminal activity. Although I was so covert, I never got caught by the police. Um, and now I'm on the other side of the desk, and the people that we serve at our agency can see it in me. Like they know I have lived experience. There's a psychic kind of energy amongst people that have lived rough. And for myself with lived experience, I was always afraid to come out about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I've kind of turned it into a job now.
Yeah, your lived experience is useful because at least you understand what compassion is. Because when you're in a job that you are in, I don't know what the scope of your job is, but when you're in a job that you're in, you can tell bullshit when people are speaking to you, can't you?
Absolutely.
And you know all the damn tricks because you're the one who didn't get caught.
Yep.
Correct. So what is the
Yeah.
scope of your job right now? What is the scope? What do you do? You don't do you do cases?
I do outreach, so
Mm,
we reach out to people there's a lot of people in I don't know about the States, but in Canada, post-pandemic, there's a lot more homelessness. There's people living in encampments.
mm-hmm,
There's a large percentage of that population have mental health and addiction issues
mm-hmm,
because they have trauma. And we are like the bridge, the agency that I work for. We're like a bridge for them to try, if they are so willing to do so. They want like a shelter bed, or they want housing, or people that want to use drugs. We give them safer supplies so that we can prevent HIV, hepatitis. We give out safer sex supplies. So it's all forms of harm reduction, not just including safer drug use and sex use.
mm-hmm.
We try to advocate for people to get into housing, to have like legal representation in court for when they get charged.
Mm-hmm.
And like the scope of my work is basically creating a connection one-on-one with people and building that trust so that if they're so willing to take the next steps to try and, get better, as I did, and I did it all on my own. I didn't have any agencies helping me. It's like creating a bridge.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you deal with the indigenous population?
Yes, we do.
To what degree?
There's a large indigenous population up here, and they're most affected by everything, by drugs, by homelessness, by mental health, and by, I'm going to just say it, sex trafficking.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much you like your new position?
I like work. I leave work at work.
Okay, I didn't ask you that. How much do you like your new position on a scale
I
of
love
1
it.
to
8.
10? Okay, what do you like about it?
I like giving people that feel unheard a voice.
Mm-hmm.
I like researching different solutions.
Mm-hmm.
We get to do training courses for all different types of things. I like learning in a non-scholastic environment. It's like kinesthetic, as am I. It's hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
I like going to conventions and meeting other people that work in the industry from all over Canada.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
And I
so
like,
I'll ask you a surgical question. What are your goals? Your personal goals? I didn't say your work goals. What are your personal goals?
to learn how to be more emotionally available in all of my relationships, which means I'm going to have to break my walls down and be vulnerable.
Uh-huh.
Um,
And how's that going?
it's crazy. In the past 6 months, I've become so assertive in dealings with family members that I basically ran from for 44 years. I came into recovery 3 years ago and started to actually start working on myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that they don't know me because I've always been very closed off. So I've developed a better relationship by spending time with my aunt, who's also my godmother. We kind of have an understanding now, which is weird to me because I had all of these preconceived notions about, because she's conservative and I'm a nonconformist. I thought that we would have nothing in common, but we actually do, and we get along quite well.
So you did a lot of growing up in between.
In 6 months, I don't even know where that time went. I moved back up here, which is home. I'm from here, from Toronto. And I decided that this part of my journey would be getting to know my family better and working in the community. And that if I was outside of the big city and the gentrification and the sensory overload that I experienced being there, that I would actually be able to get a better handle on my own inner journey because I would be closer to nature.
Andrew, there have been many callers that we've had over the years that have talked about wanting to expand. This
Oh
lady
yeah.
has actually expanded. For real, for real.
Yeah. Last time we talked, it was about dealing with a boyfriend that was available / not available, and it was advice to her was
Yeah,
if he's
I
not
remember her.
yeah. If he's not really on the path, that she'll have to move on. How's that worked out for you?
Well, I took your suggestions and I took my walls down and I embodied my sacred feminine and I was gentle with him. And he was quite reciprocating. And when he started to leave his body, we decided to have a safe word for our intimate relations.
Okay.
And that was
Just so you know, David, the partner had early childhood sexual abuse, so he constantly would leave his body.
I remember this. I remember this. I remember you, Alana. I do.
Yes.
I was on that call with you.
Yes, you were.
So now you all have a safe word. How are things between you and the boyfriend?
We live 2 hours apart, so we get to visit each other every 3 weeks to every 6 weeks, depending on work. He's really busy too.
Mm-hmm.
However, in our personal life, he admitted to me that he was not having sex with other women, but that he was emotionally betraying me by not having boundaries with certain people that he worked with, and he stopped doing that.
Mm-hmm. Did he admit it to you?
Yes, he did.
Was he apologetic?
Yes, he was. He told me that he was sorry for being an asshole. And I was snippy with him. I said, yeah, well, I don't do third parties, so thank you for telling me that.
Impressive. Impressive. Oh, Andrew, I have a little gift for your audience.
Okay.
Are these the people that are inside? The people who are here, are they inside the chat? Can they see the chat?
Yeah.
Or is the chat disabled?
No, the chat's in. And then we could put it out in the main chat in the other two rooms, play chats.
Nowadays, I'm always walking with stuff for people. So thank you, Alana. You just reminded me of something. For
Cool.
those of you who are wondering whether you are relationship ready, because I know some of you all are thinking, am I ready for a relationship? Well, I thought about this because this is a common theme on the show, and I decided to create a psychological assessment quiz. Anybody have any objections to taking the Are You Ready for a Relationship quiz?
No, go ahead. Put it out there.
We're dropping it into the chat. Take a click, everybody. Go find out whether you are.
Joel, can you put that into all the other channels too?
All right. Go find out whether you are ready to engage in terms of emotional availability, emotional intelligence, your knowledge of sexuality, your attitude towards commitment. That will test you. I mean, why not, right?
Oh, yeah,
I love
exactly.
Okay, so I ran it past a few psychological tests on me, isolated them a little bit. I also have a number of tests there, but as we go on, I'll just drop it into the chat. I don't want to come to these shows empty-handed anymore. So guys, it will give you a result as to how ready you are based on scientific analysis of your answers.
I love it. I love psychology.
Good.
I do.
Would you like a test on the future of your relationship, whether it's ready to succeed or not?
Sure.
Sure, I'll drop it in the chat as well, because I don't come empty-handed ever. All right.
Awesome. I don't have any fear about it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I know that ultimately I'm the only thing that I have control over.
That's right.
Okay, everybody in a relationship that you're presently in a relationship, you can take this next quiz, and it'll give you a pretty good idea, a scientific dive into relationship compatibility. Give you a pretty good idea of what you need to do or whether or not it will, right? So we isolated the markers for relationship. We isolated the markers for relationship success. Thank you, Alana, because you reminded me of that.
You're
Hey,
welcome.
Alana, thanks for calling in. We want to get on to one more caller because David's got to get going here in a minute.
Have a good one.
All right.
Sure. Thanks.
All right, take it easy. All right, Joel, send Delane a signal to unmute. Delane, are you there?
Hello.
Hi, where are you calling from?
Hello.
Hi,
I'm
where are you calling from?
Lake Butler, Florida.
Lake Butler, Florida. How's it going today?
Great.
What do you want to talk about today?
Well, I've come across to crossroads. It feels like a spiritual crisis or a midlife crisis. I'm not sure. I'm at a place, I have a good job, I have a home, I have a marriage. Everything is in a good place, but it all feels much like a lie at this point.
How long have you been dealing with this in your head?
It's become real intense in the last 6 months.
Okay, and before that, it wasn't intense, but it was in the background?
It's always been in the background.
What does always mean?
I could see spirit. I could see spirits as a child. I always knew there was something else. I always searched for something else. I was always a defiant child. Never fit in. I knew there was something bigger. And now that I understand a lot more of it, I don't feel like I'm in the right place. I feel like there's a calling, but I don't know what that is.
Because something inside you got aggressively shut down, and you had to go through part of your life without that part in a part of you, which makes you have a misconnection or disconnection from the world. But part of that journey is understanding is fear is what drove you to where you are today. And the only way to unravel fear is to face it head on, false evidence appearing real, until such a time you have enough command over fear itself that you can dispel it in the moment and have clarity again. but it is fear and fear and fear that was compacted and avalanched and earthquaked and avalanched and tsunamied all until it hitting up against the beaches of your belief until suddenly your belief was eroded.
Okay.
So the journey is de-fearing yourself and understanding that the slightest little fear got blown out of proportion at a young age for you, which then required you to shut down certain energetic experiences, contemplations, understandings. You know, if you remember seeing spirits as a child, what did it do to you? Okay, how did your parents react to it? You said you were a defiant child. What were you defiant against?
Almost everything from the moment I was born. I was very hyperactive. I always stood up for the underdog or someone, anyone was hurting, I wanted to help.
Do you have a police record?
I've always been empathic. I'm sorry?
Ever given an arrest record?
Do I have a police?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like what?
Domestic violence for one. No charges. All charges have always been dropped. The other was a money issue, bad check.
Okay. So life issues.
Life issues.
Life issues. Okay. Now, the next part of understanding fear is understanding how life issues drove you deeper and deeper into some aspects of fear. When life was over challenging to you, you had to look somewhere else, and you had to look at some of the other things that were stuffed down, and you had to look at something else and something else. And spirit was one of those things that you would hover around a lot because there's still an inside journey of wanting to reconnect to faith and spirit inside you. That's that long yearning spirit inside. Just understand that spirit needs to be nurtured and regenerated before you can really understand the journey to out of fear. David, is that
yes, I feel that. I just don't know how to connect.
Hi. I have a few questions.
Hi.
What are you afraid of most?
I've been looking at that a lot lately, and I know that I have abandonment issues. I think maybe afraid of being vulnerable. I'm still searching to find all those little demons down in there, I guess.
What demons are we talking about?
The things that bubble up.